Well, good morning. Thank you for joining us. At Penn State, we have more than 800 varsity student athletes who've raised the bar for dedication and work ethic and the pursuit of excellence. They pursue challenging academic programs and spend rigorous and exhausting hours practicing. They compete at the highest levels, and they contribute to campus life in countless ways. Our student athletes are an impressive group, and it's our responsibility to do everything we can to ensure their success beyond college. Name, image, and likeness, better known as NIL, is an important step in realizing that goal, and we appreciate the fact that Pennsylvania has enacted a law that gives student athletes the ability to earn compensation based on their NIL. This will be beneficial to student athletes as well as the institutions that they attend for a number of reasons. First and foremost, NIL provides a unique opportunity for building entrepreneurial skills and business savvy. Our student athletes are studying everything from accounting to zoology. NIL and Penn State's Statement program will help us add important business skills to their educational mix in an effort to enhance our student athletes' financial security. Economic development, entrepreneurship, and financial literacy are top priorities at Penn State since I began my presidency. We've worked very hard to develop programs that are useful and engaging and available to all students, including our student athletes. Invent Penn State, which has engaged nearly 11,000 Penn State students, the Sokolov-Miller Family Financial and Life Skills Center, which has provided valuable information to well more than 30,000 students since 2017, and Career Services, which is ranked 5th in the nation, tied with MIT, pretty good school.
It's okay.
And has connected tens of thousands. Our governor is a proud graduate of MIT. That's why I couldn't help putting that in there. So, well, this has connected tens of thousands of students with prospective employers. NIL is a giant stride forward. It will provide tremendous opportunities for our student athletes, and it will avoid a competitive disadvantage for the Nittany Lions, given that more than 24 states have enacted NIL legislation. After years of discussion and debate, it's clear that NIL rights are necessary, reasonable, and fair for all involved parties. NIL will protect the integrity of the game and will provide our student athletes with much-deserved opportunities to financially benefit from their hard work. In other words, this is a win-win. And we know how our Nittany Lions like to win. So thank you for joining us. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf. He's been an advocate for education and a valued partner with Penn State through his support of our educational mission of teaching, research, and service. And I'm delighted he made the time to be with us today. Governor Wolf.
Thank you very much. Did you just applaud?
I laughed.
Holy mackerel. It's really great. So I want to thank you, President Barron, for those really nice remarks. As I think all of you know, President Barron is about to begin his last academic year, and he's off to retirement. What a term you've had here. And I appreciate, as a fellow Pennsylvanian, everything you've done. Penn State, as you know, I think the Times of London has it as the 50th.
I forget exactly what
in the
it is,
world,
but,
it's in the top,
yep.
One of the top universities in the world. So you've done a lot for Penn State, and obviously Pennsylvania basks in the reflected glory of Penn State and all the things you've done. And I think the NIL that you talked about here is just another really important step forward for all of us. I also want to make sure that I acknowledge my fellow what do we call ourselves? Politician, public servant? Public servant's probably better. President Jake Corman and Senator Scott Martin from Lancaster. I thank you for being here, and also the future mayor of of Pittsburgh, Gainey, and future something in Pittsburgh. I tell you, we're losing so many good people here in Harrisburg. But Jake Wheatley, thank you for being here. You know, Pennsylvania is home to a lot of outstanding athletes who devote so much of their time, their energy, their passions to achieve great things, both on the field and in the classroom. And that's why I am so pleased to be here to mark the beginning of a new chapter in the history of athletics here in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania has passed legislation, Act 26, to allow college athletes to earn money from endorsements and sponsorship opportunities using their name, image, and likeness. For too long, college athletes were barred from earning compensation for endorsements like these, forced to allow other entities to profit off of their successes in order to continue playing the sports they love. Pennsylvania's college athletes have earned their fame through hard work and through dedication, through long years of practice, of training, and of outstanding performance. Now, our athletes will no longer be forced to choose between receiving fair compensation and continuing to play. They're going to be able to do both. Instead, they're going to be able to receive compensation from businesses profiting off an athlete's name, an image, or likeness. Athletes cannot be paid to play for a certain institution, but they can receive royalties from companies selling college team merchandise. They can sign with an agent to pursue endorsements without fear of reprisals. This step toward fairness for athletes aligns with changes taking place in other states. I think we're the 25th state to have this legislation, and at the national level within the NCAA. It will also help ensure that Pennsylvania colleges and universities remain competitive and attractive. It will give top athletes a guarantee that they will be treated fairly here in Pennsylvania by ensuring that athletes in other states aren't receiving benefits that Pennsylvania student athletes might miss out on. This is a big change for colleges and for student athletes alike. It will bring new opportunities for our student athletes as well as additional responsibilities. I know that our dedicated college and university staff across Pennsylvania are up to the challenge of helping college athletes navigate the new opportunities that exist for them now. This is an exciting moment for college athletes. It's an exciting moment for colleges. And I was proud to sign the law allowing for these opportunities. So thank you. And now it is my great privilege to turn this over to a colleague in Harrisburg, Senator was Majority Leader, now President Pro Tem. Let me just say something here. When I first started, of course we're different parties and we don't agree on a lot of things, but we did agree on pension reform, and we knocked out a really hard-earned pension reform for Pennsylvania. And I think Senator Corman stood up at that point in the rotunda of the Capitol and said, you know, in Washington, there's a lot of dysfunction, a lot of people use disagreement as reasons why we can't get things done. Here in Pennsylvania, we can actually get things done, and we do. And he's one of those rare public servants who balances partisanship with the ability to actually make democracy work. And that's a fine balance, and it's really, really important to our democracy, and I appreciate being a colleague of Senator President Jake Corman.
Thank you very much, Governor. It was very kind, and I'm sure if I have a primary opponent next year, I'll see that out quite a bit, the Republican primary. But no, it's been a pleasure, and it is important to get things done, and this is another example of that. June is budget month, and it's very busy, a lot of things going on in Harrisburg, and I got a call from Zach Moore from Penn State's Governmental Affairs and Mike Steffen about this issue. And I was like, geez, guys, this is something we can really put together fairly quickly. This is a big issue. There's a lot of talk about this nationwide. I'm not sure we can get this done in that time frame. So they reached to a higher power, and later that evening or the next evening, I got a call from Coach Franklin. I don't get many late night calls from Coach Franklin. I thought he wanted to talk about the offense for this year, and I said, throw the ball to Dotson, and everything will be fine. Anyway, it wasn't about the offense. He wanted actually to talk about this issue. And so when I jumped into it the next day, I was fortunate that Scott Martin, our education chairman, was way out ahead on this issue and working on this issue with our colleague from Philadelphia, Tony Williams. Tony, who ironically, his father was captain of the basketball team here a few decades ago, Hardy Williams, but they were already well out in advance on this issue. And so when we decided to put it together fairly quickly, the work had been done. Scott did just a fantastic job, and I think as the president said, when he met with the Big Ten universities, a lot of the things they're looking for were checked off by the Pennsylvania law, which is very exciting because, this is an important issue. I'm old enough to remember not allowing athletes to make money was a reform, believe it or not. That was the reform to deal with recruiting violations of the 60s and 70s, and it was quite frankly unfair. It was an overreach to deal with a problem that they could have done with it in a lot of other ways. And, nowadays, with all the big decisions you have to make moving forward, not just the athletes who are going on to pros, but others, to be able to get professional advice earlier, I think, is so important. To say you have to wait to declare to be a professional before you can get professional advice just doesn't make any sense. To have this type of advice from a lawyer, from an agent, whoever it might be, early on, before you make these decisions and maybe lose your eligibility, is so very important. And so I'm glad to see that we're able to move forward on this, to allow our athletes to be students like other students. We keep calling them student athletes. They should be students like other students and be able to control their likeness, control their name, be able to get some professional advice as they move forward in their careers. So I was very excited to be part of it. But as usual, when things in Harrisburg, I have this much to do with it, and I take all the credit. But really, my colleague, Senator Martin, the chair of our Education Committee, and Senator Williams really did the yeoman's work here. We're just glad to make it happen. So with that, let me turn it to the other chamber. We don't let a lot of people from Pittsburgh up on this level. Usually we keep them somewhere across town. But my good friend, Representative Ed Gainey.
First and foremost, President, let me just congratulate you on an illustrious career, the way you've built this university, what you've done to make this a premier in the state of Pennsylvania. I think we should all give him a round of applause for what he's done this time today. Secondly, this is a great day because we're recognizing our athletes, our student athletes. Do you know how that boosts our morale? To know now that you can be compensated for things that you couldn't be compensated for in the past. And to know that a great university like Penn State is supporting this legislation, a governor, the top of the Senate is supporting this legislation, to give our athletes an opportunity to not only get compensated, but look what it does. It helps them as they develop into pro athletes, to know how to deal with different endorsements, to know how to deal with different financial situations that before wasn't available to them, but today is. And so when we talk about the development of our student athletes, we should celebrate this as a success because we're teaching them not only entrepreneurial skills, but how to take care of their careers right here where they're supposed to take care of it in college. So today is a great day. It's a day because we're recognizing that the reforms that may have been back in the day didn't benefit our athletes or our student athletes. But what we've done today is beneficial. Look at our athletes. Each one of them, if they had an opportunity to talk about it, will talk about how exciting it is. And that's why right now I'm happy to introduce someone they say got a nice outside shot. See, she got a nice, when you hear that endorsement, she got a nice outside shot. Please give a warm welcome for Anna Camden.
Thank you, State Representative Ed Gainey, for the kind words. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Happy Valley if you are visiting. I would first like to take a moment and express my gratitude towards Governor Wolf, the state legislators, Athletic Director Sandy Barber, all of the administration, and many people who made passing this bill possible. I also want to acknowledge all of the athletes who came before me and fought for their right to use their name, image, and likeness. It is because of all of these people that we are fortunate enough to stand here today in a new era of college sports. I am so excited to see how my fellow athletes tackle these endeavors and entrepreneur opportunities, whether it is starting their own businesses, partnering with brands and companies, or anything in between. Penn State has already, and I have no doubt that they will continue to, support us in these uncharted territories, and we are so blessed to have a university like that behind us. NIL is not only about making money, but about equal rights for students. Before now, any other student on any other scholarship could capitalize on their name, image, and likeness, and now the playing field has been leveled. I'm incredibly grateful, excited for the future, and above all, inspired. Inspired by what I've already seen this past week and for what I know is to come. And as always, I am proud to be a Penn Stater. Thank you, and we are.
Good morning. My name is Jahan Dotson. I'm a senior wide receiver here at Penn State and a native of Nazareth, Pennsylvania. I would first like to thank Governor Wolf and the Pennsylvania legislators for their support of the student athletes by making NIL a reality for us by passing the NIL bill. This is a huge opportunity for myself and all the student athletes here at Penn State as we work to get a head start on life, not only in athletics, but in our academic careers. Being a student at Penn State means being a part of a community that always lifts us up and shows us all the support in the world. We are part of this amazing university for 4 or so years, but we are part of the Penn State family forever. We all know the brand and recognition name that comes with saying, "I go to Penn State." That gives student athletes a unique chance to succeed not only in athletics, but in academics as well, which is why this NIL bill is such a great opportunity that's presented to us. Lastly, I want to say thanks to Vice President of Athletics, Sandy Barber, and the entire Penn State NIL task for their support in developing the statement program. The statement program will be a tremendous resource to me and my fellow student athletes with the proper education on NIL, branding building, and financial responsibility. Thank you again, Governor Wolf, for your support and being here today. We are.
Thank you, Jahan. And I want to recognize all of our student athletes. Anna and Jahan obviously spoke on behalf of all of them. But as the Vice President for Intercollegiate Athletics here at Penn State, I have the opportunity to interact with these student athletes every day and hear their stories and hear their dreams, and the opportunity for them to take advantage of the rights to use their name, image, and likeness now is something that they're very excited about, as you can tell from Anna and Jahan's comments, and it's something that's been a long time coming. So I want to thank all of our student athletes for attending today. I also want to thank you for the way in which you've approached this. Obviously, it's been a little bit of a bumpy road, as we can tell from Senator Corman's story about when this kind of started to get pushed based on where the NCAA might have been or might not have been on this, and there's still lots to be learned out there about this, and obviously lots to be learned on behalf of our student athletes. So certainly want to thank Governor Wolf, Senator Corman, Representative Gainey, and Senator Martin for, as we've heard, making this a reality. We know it was a heavy lift, and we appreciate your belief in how right this was and that the time is now. Obviously, you heard from Anna and Jahan about what this means to them. You know, it's an opportunity. The word we are using at Penn State, because I think it really captures what this opportunity means, is entrepreneurial. The opportunity to engage in entrepreneurial activities of many, many sorts in the exact same way that any student on this campus has. That any student on this campus now has that right. Student athletes did not have the right before. It's what's right, and we're excited to see that all they will do with this opportunity. I want to thank President Barron and Zach Moore and State Relations Director Michael Steffens for their support and leadership in this. I particularly want to, again, thank the House and Senate leadership for making this possible. At Penn State, our statement program is designed to provide students with access to skill building and experience. In an entrepreneurial setting, we've come to refer to it as their entrepreneurial adventure. This will have positive value on them today, and certainly a part of that is compensation, but that's just a small part of what this is about. Most importantly, not unlike the entirety of their Penn State experience, both educational and athletic, The statement program is designed to prepare them with preparation for their lifetime. Life after Penn State, preparing them for a lifetime of impact, as we like to say. Statement accomplishes this by providing comprehensive education and connecting students with the abundant resources that are available here at Penn State. Through the Sokoloff-Miller Financial and Life Skills Center, the Student Legal Services Center, Invent Penn State, Happy Valley Launchbox, Penn State Small Business Development Center, our trademark and licensing office, I could go on and on. Many of these, like the Sokoloff-Miller Center, we've been using through our Student Welfare and Development Program for years. And then combine those resources with those in the athletic department that ICA has marshaled that will benefit each and every one of our student athletes' name, image, and likeness success, including education and applications that we've been using for many years, as I said, through Student Welfare and Development, through our compliance department, through our Varsity S and Letterman organizations that are abundant. Jahan said it. You know, our intercollegiate student athletes receive so much support from our community and from our alumni, as well as we've partnered with a few third parties, Athletes Network, Influencer, and Spry. So we are excited to be at and in this moment and looking forward to seeing what our student athletes will do with this opportunity. I, for one, am very excited about seeing what they'll do and look forward to that ahead. So again, many thanks to all who worked tirelessly to make this opportunity happen. And I'll invite Governor Wolf back up to the podium to take any questions.
I'll stand here, but I'm going to be pushing questions off to other folks if I can. So are there any questions? We've answered all the questions. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you again.